What if I told you that the biggest business opportunity of 2050 is hiding inside your dustbin? Right now, the world generates more than 2 billion tons of waste every single year. And by 2050, this number would be a whopping 3.75 billion. So the question is not where will we throw it? The question is that how will we learn to monetize it? And here's the shocking part. Every waste plastic wrapper, every waste or discarded food item, every electronic product that you throw away represents unfinished business value, and some countries have realized this too soon. Countries like Sweden are running waste to energy plants so efficiently that they have to now import waste from other European nations to get their factories, their waste to energy plants running. And here are some countries that have piled up mountains of waste, and sometimes quite literally. So this video is not just about trash, it's about an entire invisible market. Who's winning, who's losing, and who is going to win this war of not waste or trash but the raw materials of the future. Let's start with a simple example. Let's take Delhi's Ghazipur landfill or Mumbai's Deonar landfill. Built in the 20th century, these were supposed to operate or be there just for a few years, and instead now they have become India's largest and oldest landfills, stretching up to whopping 132 hectares and as high as a 20-storied building. Now let's analyze this problem across the world. US is the highest per capita waste generating country with more than 800 kilograms of waste per person per year. China also has a massive waste problem, but they are building their waste recycling or disposal capacity at a fast pace. Similarly, countries like Sweden and Japan have the best waste recycling or circular economy plans in place right now in the world. Similarly, waste management in sub-Saharan region is going to be a big challenge, as current projections says that their waste generation per person is going to triple down by the year 2050. But why is this happening across the world? What is something that the entire world is doing wrong? The current system was built with a linear logic, that is, take raw material, make products, and in the end just dispose them off or throw them off. So the world is not only heading towards an environmental crisis due to this, but this is a big supply chain problem. Where will we get our raw material from? So the country that gets it right won't be just saving the environment or the planet, but also would be the owner of future raw materials. So who cracked the code first? The story begins in Japan, where land scarcity actually forced innovation. Japan now recycles up to 84% of plastic bottles ever manufactured in the country and has the best sorting system in place in the entire world. Then next comes Sweden, which is called the Silicon Valley of waste management, where government imposed systems like extended producer responsibility (EPR) that makes the producers of goods responsible for the take back of not just the goods but also the packaging used. With this system, they have been able to crack the problem of waste management like no other country. And here's the twist. Sweden generates $1 billion of revenue annually just from the waste market, from waste management, and still they don't have enough waste to process. So what are they doing? They are importing waste from other European countries and recycling and generating value out of waste in their own country. Now that's what a circular economy model actually is. Meanwhile, in India, startups like Sahas Zero Waste, Recycle, Atero Recycling are changing the landscape of waste management in India and proving that waste management can be a profitable business. So what used to consume money in processing at once is now actually started making money. So if solutions exist, why aren't all countries doing this? Because the problem is not technology, it is segregation at source. When waste is mixed, it's worthless. When it is segregated, it is raw material. So let's break it down. When plastic is mixed with other kinds of waste, it pollutes the environment since it is non-biodegradable. But do you know plastic can be recycled and can be put into the economy again and save us a lot of carbon emissions as well as cost of manufacturing new plastic. Similarly, food waste items emit methane gas, which is a greenhouse gas, but this gas itself can also be used to generate biogas or energy, which can help us in replacing our fossil fuels. Similarly, electronic waste is a gold mine of resources. It contains gold, silver, platinum, copper, and so many other rare earth metals, which if put back into the economy can help us reduce global warming and bring down the cost of these raw materials. This means means that the single most biggest economic shift in waste management isn't AI, robotics, or any other powerful technology that you can think of, but it is just a simple dustbin with multiple compartments so that we are able to segregate these waste sources at the very source of waste generation. Countries like South Korea have implemented a robust waste management system using digital tracking, different sorts of fines, traceability in the supply chain, and hence are able to bring about a big economic shift. This is not a garbage crisis. This is actually a management crisis. Here's where the story gets interesting. We are making a shift from a linear economy to a circular economy where goods are manufactured and designed in a way so that they re-enter the supply chain at the end of their lives. Now let's try to decode that how value is created. So when a product becomes a waste or is discarded by the user, there are companies who are paid to collect, that means take back, and then segregate this waste. So revenue from both the sides, from the company who pays them to collect and segregate, and again the companies or recyclers who buy this segregated material again pay these companies for the waste they have collected. So it's a win-win from both the sides. Next up is recycling, where recyclers generate value out of this waste by turning these raw materials into new materials that can be used in manufacturing industries again, and that is where value is generated again. Companies like Adidas are using recycled plastic, ocean plastics, to make their products and goods that they can again sell. So an interesting fact is that only recycled plastic industry or market is predicted to reach $70 billion in the next few years, and that is not all, my friends. Even after this, there are schemes like EPR, like CSR funds or carbon credits that can help monetize saving the environment. So even after earning from all these sources, a company can actually claim the carbon emissions they have saved through all these processes and have an additional source of revenue again. So does it not sound like the best plan ever? So the companies that are going to dominate the next decade aren't just making products, they're designing them to be recovered. So what can we learn from this? Waste management is not just environmental responsibility, it's a strategic business advantage, and those countries that treat waste as a resource and not a liability are bound to lead the next industrial revolution. Because here's the most important part that people generally miss. Key decisions or changes don't happen in government offices, they happen with the consumers' everyday decisions, in homes, in schools, in restaurants, in everyday decision making. Because if the waste is not segregated, the earth pays the price for it, and if the waste is segregated and recycled in a proper manner, value is definitely generated. So with this video, let's make it a habit that starting today, we all will segregate our waste into at least two categories: dry waste and wet waste. This small decision of our everyday life can actually make big shifts in this particular economy, and who knows that which industry is the key to being a global superpower. For more such content, stay tuned on our channel and subscribe our channel for latest updates. Thank you so much.